let's get it.
Dangerous and slowly work our way towards the deadliest ones on the list. 5. Casu marzu. Casu marzu translates to rotten cheese in Sardinian and is known as the most dangerous cheese in the world. This is a cheese that is traditionally made using sheep's milk and is commonly produced on the island of Sardinia, Italy. Even though it's illegal to sell, the high demand for this delicacy incentivizes local farmers to keep producing it, creating a massive black market that is estimated to bring in around 2.5 million
I know
pounds,
a more deadly cheese. Yeah, the you got on your
or around $3 million annually.
We got guns.
No,
We
thank you.
got drugs.
No.
Fresh kidneys.
Wow.
Oh, and we have cheese.
Yeah, I'll just go with the cheese. The reason this cheese is so dangerous is simply because of the way that it is made, which first starts with the wheel of pecorino cheese. It is then introduced to cheese flies, where they will begin to lay their eggs inside it, and in a matter of hours to a few days, these eggs become larvae. And around the 40th day, the cheese is completely infested with flies and thousands of maggots. For the next 2 to 3 months, the maggots are left to gorge themselves with the cheese, so they can, well, poop it back out. And that's the magical ingredient here, since the poop gives the cheese its sought-after flavor and texture. And
Nah, man, I'm not gonna lie. Them niggas, y'all is nasty, bro. Ain't nothing this good, bro. Y'all niggas eating maggot.
honestly, the texture does look amazing. I'll give them that. But when it's time to consume the rotten cheese, expect to get around a dozen maggots with every single bite, since they are never removed. Scientists and health officials have warned that there's always a possibility that the larvae could survive a person's stomach acid and make their way into the intestines, a condition called pseudomyiasis, where the person's intestines become completely infested with maggots, surviving by consuming the person instead, successfully pulling off the sneakiest Uno reverse card. Even though this condition is rare, I don't think I would be willing to risk it all for a taste of this deliciously textured cheese. Well,
Nah, that's
maybe just
gross.
one bite.
That's gross.
Number
That's so
4,
disgusting,
larb. Larb is a type of salad that consists of greens, spices, sticky rice, and a choice of meat. This dish originated in South Asia in Laos and is a very popular dish there, even becoming its national dish. At first glance, this would definitely be something I would consider ordering while on vacation,
Okay.
if I ever took any. Now here's the thing, even though this dish looks delicious, it can quickly become deadly, since this meal is oftentimes served with. There are many types of meat that can be used for this dish, but the most common ones include beef, chicken, duck, fish, and pork. And eating this meal uncooked drastically increases the odds of you contracting a dangerous and potentially fatal disease, from trichinosis, fatal bacterias, rabies, Streptococcus suis, which is a deadly bacteria that is commonly found in pigs, and Southeast Asian liver fluke, a parasitical flatworm found in uncooked fish, which once consumed, the worm can live inside the human liver for many years, where you can rest easy knowing that you'll never truly be alone. There have been many cases throughout the years where this meal.
Nah, see, like, and this is what I got to say. Y'all niggas, aka Americans, don't realize how good you have it. They're over there be eating raw fish and get a liver intestine worm or some nut. Like, think about like how good you have it. Granted, our food is and it's processed in all the disease and like you could get from eating it, all the chemicals they put in it. But that's a slow killer. This, you gonna wake up one day out crazy diarrhea, bloody poop, and you gonna find out you got a worm the size of fucking Idaho in your stomach. Like, what?
Has directly led to human fatalities.
I'm not
like
American,
in 2019
Listen, if you're
in
not
Thailand,
American, it don't
where
apply
a
to you.
total of 265 people contracted Streptococcus suis after consuming larb. And sadly, 23 of those people would end up losing their lives. Number 3,
Y'all eat rotten milk for fun?
In Korea, sannakji could be enjoyed multiple different ways. But let's cover the least deadly one first and the most common. Sannakji is a raw dish consisting of the long arm octopus, which is killed just moments before it's to be served. Here, the octopus's body and legs are chopped into pieces and drizzled with sesame oil. And by the time this makes it onto your plate, the legs will still be moving. As you begin to eat, the octopus's suckers will begin to suction onto your tongue and throat, making it difficult to swallow. But I know that if I ever came face to face with this meal, I would have no choice but to totally crush it. Since I have talked way too much of a big game, watching people struggle as they eat disgusting foods on the challenge. No, I'm telling you, you just have to plug your nose and just power through it.
Sure, honey, sure.
Oh my god, just chase it with the water.
Ew, sound like torture.
He's wasting so much time.
I feel like you just don't have to do this.
So I have a lot to prove.
Like calamari fry. Listen, I was against calamari until I tried it with a certain sauce. Ooh, shit, bust. I don't know. The texture for calamari is weird to me though.
The second method, on the other hand, is much more challenging and poses a much greater risk of death. And honestly, it's more of a one-on-one fight rather than an actual meal. Here, the octopus reaches your plate fully intact and alive, where it is then tightly wrapped around a chopstick, dipped in sesame oil, and shoved into your mouth. But who are they kidding? The sesame oil is not meant to enhance the meal. It is simply used to rig the fight in the cheating human's favor, as it will now serve as a lubricant. And as soon as the 1v1 starts, the octopus begins to attack, squirming to find its way out, frantically suctioning on to whatever it can get a hold of.
Okay, hold on. What is this shit called? Sannakji. Hold on. I want to see a sannakji like. Yo, nah, these niggas is nasty. That nigga alive, bro. Let that nigga chill. When is it gonna slide up her butt?
먹어볼게요. 원래 머리는 먹는 게 별로 건강에 좋지 않다고 해요. 그래서 머리는 제외를 하고.
2x speed? Shit finna sound like a anime fight. We put this bitch in 2x speed.
이거 원래 죽어도 이렇게 살아서 움직여요.
That's crazy. How is it crazy, bro? How is it crazy? How is that crazy? I didn't even say nothing insane, bro. Like
남아 있어서 이 아이는 분명 죽은 거예요. 알겠죠? 초장.
it's crazy because if aliens came to Earth and wanted to eat humans, I couldn't even be mad because look at what we're doing to like live octopus. Like this is so like crazy to me. Like, bro, you really life could just kill it and then consume it. But no, know her throat crazy. If you close your eyes, it sounds kind of fire. Bro, wait. Shh. Nah, man.
But if you're the human, you must completely focus on your
Not
chewing.
even gasping for
Soon
air?
your hands begin to get sweaty, and within seconds, you begin to break out into a mental panic, questioning yourself, thinking that this might have been a mistake. With your heart beginning to race, you try and cover up your fear by chewing harder and faster. And you have now convinced yourself that it's now or never. It's time to attempt the swallow. But there's a problem. The octopus is still moving. The stares of everyone at the table are piercing, and you feel the ever-growing peer pressure accumulating, so you're forced to go for it. Praying to whatever god is listening that the octopus doesn't latch itself onto your throat as you try and swallow it, as that would surely be a death sentence.
Now, I know a lot of people are willing to try this and whatnot, but ain't it a little sussy? You letting a live tentacle slide down your throat and grip your throat? As a grown man, how do you co-sign that? Like, that shit is like in your throat. Like, if it was dead, that's one thing, but it's alive. So that means you got a live tentacle in your throat, gripping and hugging your throat as you swallow it.
You force the ball of squirming octopus down your throat, and for a second, your heart stops. But you manage to swallow it. With your heart still racing and a bead of sweat coming down the back of your neck, you look over at your buddy and say, It's not so bad.
Chat,
You
speaking of seafood, this morning I ordered some duck. And when I went to my door, I found this.
Briefcase, nigga must be Philly, cause I'll get in that cheese. Oh, that's a scummy bitch. Oh, I think that bitch is TK.
Cynical Arts joined $.
Cynical, appreciate that Twitch Prime. So when I went to my door, chat, I found 2 Ziploc bags of sushi at my front door.
Briefcase, nigga must be Philly, cause I'll get in that cheese. Oh, that's a scummy bitch. Oh, I think that bitch is TK.
BTBO04 joined $.
Now, nobody ate this shit, obviously. Because I was like, yo, what the fuck is this? But, like, nigga, you owe, he sent a warning. Who the fuck sends sushi as a warning? But, like, my thing is, what am I supposed to make of this? Might as well eat it. Why the hell would I eat it? I might have just throw this shit away. I was just confused though, cause like, who the fuck drops off? Like, it's a platter of sushi. I'm confused though. So I think here's my choices, chat, because realistically, nobody knows where I live, right? So here's what I'm thinking. So I do okay, sure, but like I'm thinking either A, somebody's playing a prank, or B, there's like some girls in the neighborhood and they like one of my roommates. So they like, you know, but I think that's weird. Yo, Lyric, pull up. You seen the platter of sushi? That shit was outside the front door, bro.
That's too.
So, what do you think? Listen, I was like 2 things. Either someone's trying to poison us, or there's some hoes that were like interested in one of y'all, and they like, hold on, let me see if I can make them food and use it like on some weird shit.
I'm not gonna lie, if anything gotta be you.
It's not me. I don't go outside, bro.
It don't matter. Yes, you go outside more than us.
Okay. So my thing is like, nah, they poison that shit for show. Y'all neighbors hate you. I don't know, like.
I'm gonna tell you why they hate us. He's the loudest one out of all of us.
Oh, I'm dead loud as shit.
And it's crazier, nigga. Put it in full screen.
Mm-hmm.
What's crazier about this shit? This shit, what you see right now is not a room.
It's
If you niggas think
like,
this is a room, it's not a room.
it's right by the front door.
And these walls is niggas.
UU 5557 joined $.
They called the cops on us.
How did you meet Lil D? Afro, stop calling me Lil D, bro. Nigga broke the 4th wall. He and D broke the 4th wall.
You appreciate that tier 1. You can hear TK down the hall at his crib. That sounds like a them issue. Get your money up, not your funny up.
My sister was good, Gabs. Gabs, what are you supposed to be doing my Discord? I need my Discord done. My niggas really dropped off sushi, bro. I looked, I was like, what the fuck shit is this?
Bro, I woke up this morning and it was by the door and I was like,
Bro.
I was like, what the fuck?
I was like, who the fuck shit is this?
That shit blew me. Like, actually blew me. I was like, what the? Like, so look, I might ask in the little community shit and be like, yo, somebody leave sushi by our door?
You can do that. I don't know if nobody can answer, but you can do that. See what happens.
Got it. As you get up to go clean yourself up in the bathroom. There have been multiple deaths in the last few years directly linked to eating live octopus. Even though the danger is obvious, people still
That
search
tradition
out this
loud as fuck.
delicacy,
I don't hear
with
it.
some athletes even claiming that this meal increases a person's endurance, but others simply do it for the experience
I literally can't hear it.
that they will get when they show off the post online. Number 2, fugu. This is one of the deadliest foods in the world, where a single mistake in the preparation could mean life or death. Fugu is a popular dish that originated in Japan in the early 20th century, but as time has gone on, the dish's popularity has only
I literally
grown,
can't hear it.
spreading to many countries like China and South Korea. This is a meal that consists of
looking
a
at it in
poisonous
OBS, but I don't
pufferfish
see
that
it.
has had the poison carefully removed from it. Well, at least that's what should be done, but more on that later. In countries like Japan, a chef must go through long and rigorous training to learn how to properly remove the poison from the meat. The training takes up to 3 years to complete, followed by a string of exams which include a written test, fish identification test, a practical test, and of course, successfully preparing the dish. This test is so difficult that only 35% of all applicants end up passing it and acquiring the license. The reason the pufferfish is so dangerous is because it contains a poison called tetrodotoxin, which is one of the world's most deadliest poisons. A single pufferfish has enough poison to kill 30 adult humans. Now, here's the terrifying part. If someone happens to be
That's what they put in the sushi.
so unlucky that they end up consuming even a small amount of the poison, they will be presented with a prayer and a splash of holy water. Since there is no known antidote, the poison kicks in shortly after eating it, with your muscles becoming completely paralyzed, and eventually it could cause you to stop breathing. And this is probably when you will start to think to yourself, damn, I should have just gone with the chicken dumplings. The deadliest year ever recorded was in 1958, when 176 people lost their lives to this food alone. Today in Japan, the odds of you dying from fugu are very, very slim, as long as you order from a licensed restaurant, since most deaths in recent history have come from people who attempted to prepare the dish at home. But sometimes pure evil and selfishness increase the death rate even higher. Like in 2004, when fish vendors in Thailand tricked people for 3 years by dyeing the pufferfish meat red and telling buyers that the meat they were selling was salmon, leading to 115 people needing to be hospitalized, and 15 of them sadly losing their lives.
What type of head and shit?
Number 1. Wild and exotic wet markets. Now, of course, this had to be number 1 on the list, since a single meal from one of these wet markets carries the greatest risk to human health. This is one of the rare instances where a single meal consumed by an individual doesn't just affect the person eating it, it could potentially affect every person on the planet.
Them niggas eating
Now, I know
bats.
what you're thinking. What could possibly be so delicious that it's worth putting the entire world's population in jeopardy? Brownies. The answer is brownies. But as far as wet markets go, yeah, I don't think snakes, turtles, dogs, cats, bats, my nephew, porcupines, or raccoons would be a justifiable answer. And it seems like every few years, without fail,
What's
the
up,
world
D.O.
gets a
Reaper?
massive
I feel
scare
good,
when
bro.
a deadly disease
we went
breaks
tomorrow.
out. And of course, they always seem to be traced back to one of these wet markets. Remember the SARS outbreak of 2002? Me neither. But it's widely believed by epidemiologists and public health officials that this outbreak originated from a wet market in the Guangdong province of China. What about the Ebola outbreak of 2014? Remember how terrified everyone was to even let out a cough, as you would forever be known as the person with Ebola. The origins of the 2014 Ebola outbreak was traced to a small child whose family regularly hunted and consumed the bats. Sure, this wasn't a wet market, but it easily could have been. And last but not least, as we all know, the recent pandemic we just had is widely
Ebola was
believed to
a
have
nightmare for
originated in
African
China
niggas.
from a bat
That how African about to do you? Listen, bro.
in the Wuhan wet market. These are just a few of the diseases that have caused a massive scare in recent time.
No, Azur, he's from Africa. He's Nigerian. And he was staying there with family and shit. Nigga then go to South Africa. Man, I ain't going to that whitewashed country.
But here are some other diseases that are known to
let
be
me stop.
present
It's love for South Africa and all nations, bro. All nations.
in these wild and exotic wet markets. The reason these wet markets pose such a hazard to humans is largely on the fact that almost all the meat will be cross-contaminated by the time it's sold. Since being sanitary is not really of the utmost
If you Niger and don't know how to move in Niger, then you don't need to be there.
importance. This, included with the close proximity of wild animals, makes it easy for diseases from animals to infect humans. And the hot and humid conditions in a lot of these markets make it a perfect place for the growth of bacteria and spread of disease. Or possibly something even worse.
Good video. Ilhami, what's up? TK, link that video, please. What video? This? Deadliest foods? Look it up. It's right here.